Over the years, I've come to realize that a lot of people have good intentions. A lot of people have things that they want for others, or they believe um, should be happening for people, but their intentions fall short because they're rather selfish. And something that, I had to recognize or deal with as I grew up is feeling bad because I wasn't available, or I wasn't making myself available to do something that, for all intents and purposes, was good. And it wasn't because I didn't believe in that person who was ascribing me to do something or encouraging me to do something. It just may not have been what I truly wanted to do. And that's why in my journey and my walk with God, I had to step away completely from how things were kind of placed on me, and then rediscover God for myself. Um, don't quote me on this, but I've heard that Amish people, for example, the children grow up Amish, of course, and then they have an opportunity to experience the world, to come to life on their own terms, and then at the end of this allotted time, they decide if they want to continue in the Amish way of life, or if they want to participate in the rest of the world, and kind of set their own path. I believe that sometimes people, specifically Christians, struggle with that because though we practice and we say that we are open minded and we are non judgmental, sometimes we are. And I know that is something that I myself struggle with because I can be a little harsh. I can be a little judgy. And I'm really trying to get better with it because that's not of God. That's that's me stepping beyond holding my brother accountable. That's me almost making someone feel bad for something that they believed in. And that's not right because I should only be helping someone the same way Christ would help us. But ultimately, I try to definitely give you guys a scriptural reference anytime I do something. Philippians 2, verse 3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. When I read that, it exemplifies what I opened up with, because for me, um, yes, I may want someone to read their word daily and to exercise regularly and to um, go help the homeless and volunteer and stuff. But I have not taken in consideration what other things are on this person's plate. In my day job, we discuss a lot of assessing people's barriers to healthcare, meeting people where they are, and not physically where they are, but mentally where they are, because not everyone can go where you may want them to go until they can go through those steps and kind of create that situation for themselves. They bring in the value on their own. I can't make someone value something that I value. I can show them the importance of it and pray that they get it. Um, it comes back to something me and my wife had discussed about trusting God. Um, we believe in God, and we trust God for our own lives, but then we feel as though we're supposed to help somebody do something, but we're not trusting God to help them in their life. We're trying to do all the work. So if I believe that someone who right now doesn't have a stable living situation, or doesn't have a stable job and is kind of doing whatever they can to make ends meet, is really supposed to be ultimate volunteer, spending hours with volunteer work, the Lord, and other great things, then I have to trust that God will allow those opportunities to be real in that person's life in His time, not my time. So I can't tell this person to do something, and when they don't do it or they don't respond the way that I believe they should respond, start to question their motivation or the reason why God has even put this person in my life. God may be teaching me patience by waiting for that person to get to where I believe God is telling me for them to go. But in that person, it's giving them their own personal relationship with God, their own spiritual walk that is not a checklist that someone else said they needed to fulfill. You have many examples of people who had to come from the Sauls in the Bible before he was renamed to Paul. You have the Davids who struggled with sexuality, in the sense of he had many concubines, and then he had to like get through some things before he could become like a Nehemiah, who was always ready to carry out the will of God, and his faith was shown in every action that he did. Not everybody gets there overnight, and I'm not even there. I wish I had the passion of Nehemiah, and never broke when something difficult came up for me. But I'm working on it. And a lot of other people are working to that point as well. And it's up to us to not be selfish and to not promote our agenda just because we lace it with God and good intentions doesn't mean that it's right for that person in that time. They have to get there. They have to become Nehemiah on their own, because they may still be having victories for the kingdom just like a David, but they got some other things that they got to work out before they get knocked off that horse and renamed to really be sold out for Christ. So I pray that you practice humility and take opportunities to understand people on a level that you could never fully understand, but deeper than what you are right now, so you know that this individual one day will get there because I trust God to get them there and not myself. So I pray that you guys have a great, mighty, and blessed day. Enjoy the sun while it's out and shining, and release your burdens to Him. Release your stresses to Him. Know that He is the author and finisher of all things. So He has the final say. And as long as we trust Him, as long as our faith lines up with our actions, our beliefs line up with what people see, we reflect that kingdom, that those true kingdom builders, then we will get to that place that God wants us all to be. So trust God. You guys have a blessed day. I'll see you next time.